Good morning, everybody. Grace and peace to you from our Lord Jesus Christ and all the saints here in Central California. First things first, uh, remember to keep everybody in Southern California in your prayers. They're having a pretty tough time with all the fires down there. I mean, entire neighborhoods have been wiped out. Um, Hundreds of square miles has burned in the Los Angeles area. So, and there's some absolutely horrific stories of um, people not being able to get back to family, loved ones, elderly people they cared for, pets, and they weren't able to get them out of the houses before they burned down. So, absolutely horrific stories down there. Keep those people in your prayers. Okay, so that out of the way, talking to you this week about an issue I had with a IPSEC tunnel. So we're starting a new partnership with Epic, being a healthcare provider. We would be partnering with other people that use the Epic medical system. And I'm not sure exactly what all this is going to do, but a couple of our servers here internally need to send results to some of their servers internally. Two of our servers need to talk to three of their servers. So we have a production and a test host that needs to talk to a production, a test, and a development host on their side. So they sent me all the parameters, their host names, our host names. They asked that if we could supply a NATed IP for them to use because they deal with so many different companies who have so many internal address schemes. I mean, just about every company in the world use a 10 dot something address internally. So they asked if we could please use another IP other than just our internal 10 networks, even though their internal network's different. So wouldn't have caused a routing issue, but it caused a routing issue with whatever other companies they deal with. Um, so we got that all set up. They sent me a sheet used to build the VPN out. And I don't normally like to show firewall stuff, but I'm not really going to show the firewall. And I have heavily, heavily redacted what I am going to show. So I think we should be safe. But you guys keep me honest. If you think I've showed too much, let me know. You security guys out there. And if I have, then we'll take steps. Okay, where is it? Where is it? What am I looking for? I'm looking for that. Want to share. Is that what? Yeah, I want to share that. There we go. All right. Hopefully you can see that. There it goes. Um, so this is kind of like a basic template I use to create tunnels. I set up the tunnel interface first. I create crypto profiles, and then the gateway, and just phase one, phase two, the tunnel itself. So all this stuff. So let's go through it in case you guys have never seen anything like that. So for wait a minute. Sorry about that. Okay, so the first thing I always do is I set up the tunnel interface first. So there we go. I set up tunnel 13. Just picked that number. I was going through initially when I was setting up these tunnels, I'd go, okay, first one was tunnel 10, 20, 30, 40. I thought, how many tunnels are we going to have, right? Little did I know. I should have just started at like 1 or 10 or something and just incremented 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got way more than 13 tunnels. I just went back and started reusing some of the numbers that I skipped. So I set up the tunnel, and then we set up a crypto profile, which setting it up with Cisco is kind of weird. Um, Cisco, they set up phase one, phase two. pretty simple. But with Palo Alto, there's two parts to setting up phase one and one really simple part of setting up phase two. So they're pretty bizarre. So the way I have to do it is I set up the crypto profile and put in all the encryption and authentication parameters that he wants. And then I go through and skip this part and I go down and set up an IPSEC crypto profile and set up all those parameters. Then I can go back and configure the gateway, the IKE gateway, which really is pretty much phase one. And you firewall guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm completely self-taught on firewalls, so I'm not a security guy. Thankfully, we do have a security guy here, and he's really good. Um, then we go back through and set up all this stuff, which I tell it what interface I want to use. I define the local IP address, which I'm not going to show you. I define the peer address, which for that guy's peace of mind, I'm not going to show you his outside IP address either. We pick a pre-shared key. And let's see, advanced options. Yes, we did have to do advanced options. Um, for reasons I'll tell you later, I didn't initially have NAT traversal enabled. So here's the crypto profile that you have to have already created before you can create this IKE gateway. So you put the IKE, uh, where is it? Is it there? No. Okay, IKE crypto. It's not there. It's not there. Okay, I crypto is that it? That is it, isn't it? Okay, so there's the iCrypto. I'm getting confused. See, I told you firewalls confuse me. So there's that profile we created earlier. And again, I'll tell you why I enabled NAT traversal in a few minutes. There's there's the IPSEC crypto. Sorry, we needed that for the VPN tunnel itself. So see, they both are. So here we are. We give the tunnel a name. We tell it what tunnel interface we're going to use, which we created up above. Tell it the IKE, give it the IKE parameters, give it the IPSEC crypto parameters. And that's all there is to that. And then the other things, proxy IDs. So Cisco guys don't have to worry about proxy IDs. You guys have these things called ACLs. But when Palo Alto talks to a Cisco device, we have to set up these proxy IDs, which have to match your ACL on your Cisco firewall. For reasons I don't fully understand, but it's basically just, I guess, so it can talk to a Cisco. Palo Alto to Palo Alto firewall, you don't have to worry about this. You can they figure things out. They speak at the same language. So basically, I just define my local IP, which is actually going to be my NATed IP. You know, the two NATs that I set up for the two internal servers they need to get to. These are the two NAT IPs, and I just mapped it to this range of machines here. They both need to get to the same range, so I just mapped it to both. And that's all that's really required for the tunnel. The other thing you need is routes. You do need a static route. We're a static route shop. We don't do OSPF or RIP or anything like that here. It's all static. It's all manually administered. So, and this is the one. This is the one that traditionally, firewall admins here that preceded me, they always forgot. This is the one I always reminded them about, and I felt good about that because I remembered. When their tunnel wouldn't come up, they couldn't figure out why. I said, "Well, you got a route? No, networking 101. You got a route." So here's where you set up the route. If we're trying to get to this guy's internal IPs, my core network, this is unroutable. 192, oops, I can't highlight that. 192.169, that's not routable. So you have to tell it how to get there. So we define what tunnel we want it to go out. And somebody said good morning to me. Got distracted. Okay, still talking. Um, tell it what tunnel interface you want it to go out when you're trying to get to this subnet. So the NAT policies, they can't use they don't want to use our internal IPs for routing. So what we do is we set up these NAT policies here, and we map basically our internal address, which I have redacted. And I've said, okay, if you're coming from this address, our server internally, and you're going to this address, which is his end, I want you to map it to this IP over here. And the same. So I found that I have to create 2 NAT policies for each one. So that's why I have 4 total here. One for going out, and another one to map things coming back in to that internal server of mine. And if any of you firewall guys, especially, well, Palo Alto guys out there, know a better way of doing this than creating 2 policies, one for out and one for in, 2 NAT policies, let me know, because this is the only way I've been able to make it work. So to create the NAT policies, I try to make it as specific as possible, because a given internal server may have several NAT policies applied to it, because it might need to have several different IP addresses depending on what VPN tunnel it's going into. So that's why I try to be specific. If you're going here and you're coming from here, this is your IP address. And this is the IP address we use in that proxy ID you saw earlier. So there you go. Because that's what he's going to see on the Cisco firewall on the remote end, right? So, okay, and then you need a security policy. And so what we do here, well, it's not what I did before. Before, what I did was I would create one set of security policy for the IPSEC, the tunnel establishment traffic, build the tunnel, handshake, all that stuff. I created one policy for that, and then another policy for the actual data flowing over the tunnel. And so new security guy shows up and he says, well, you can crunch that down into one policy. And so that's what I did. So crunched it down into one policy. And generally what we do is we just allow any kind of traffic. Where is it? Where is it? User device, zone, address device, application. Yeah. So Cisco guys, you do like protocols and ports. Palo Alto does applications. So right now we're allowing anything through while we're doing development. And what I'll start doing is just watching the tunnel, what's actually flowing over the tunnel, and we'll start locking the applications down to what we're actually seeing there. So, and if Palo Alto doesn't recognize it, then I'll create specific ports, protocols and ports for it to use, which would be the services. So one of the things you put in there is all the source and destination addresses to make sure traffic can flow both ways. So, all right, we did all that, and boom, the tunnel came up. This is what a good tunnel looks like. You'll see tunnel info is green, IKE info is green. So it's IKE stuff means it passed all the handshaking, and the tunnel means that the IPSEC tunnel established and data is passing. So hey, everything looked good. Mission accomplished, right? So we thought. So we victoriously crowed to our application developers, hey, go ahead and test your data, your transmit and receive, and make sure everything works. But we're confident it's all set up and ready to go. Oh, thank you, they said. And so first thing she tries to do is a ping. Can't ping the other side. I check the tunnel and it's down. Try to bring the tunnel up. Won't come up. Dang it, what is it? I didn't change anything. So I emailed the remote admin, said, hey, the tunnel's down. He goes, yeah, I see that. I said, well, I can't bring it up. He says, well, let me try. He tries, comes right up. I'm like, huh, okay. I tell the application developer, Winnie, and say, hey, Winnie, try it again. He goes, oh, yeah, it's working now. Thank you. All right. Mission accomplished, right? There must have been a glitch, right? No. So the next morning, I said, oh, let me check to see if that tunnel's still up. Nope, tunnel's still down. Huh. Well, let me get on the server and generate some interesting traffic, try to ping the other side from that server and see if that brings the tunnel up. Nope, won't bring the tunnel up. Let me get on the CLI, the firewall, and I'll force that tunnel up. I try to force the tunnel up. Won't come up. I try to, I try it again. This time I'm watching the Ike logs. Nothing. No logs from him. So we do a little troubleshooting, and he says, well, I'll start packet capture over here, and you generate some traffic. We'll see if it's even getting here. So I ping him. Ping gets through just fine. I can ping his firewall from my firewall. Okay, so try to bring it up, bring the tunnel up. He says, I'm not seeing anything. Man. So call Palo Alto. They don't say anything wrong. And we're going round and round, and she, the engineer from Palo Alto's doing packet captures and checking everything, and this is not coming up with anything. And then finally, we look at the just the traffic logs, and we see a deny for what was it? Is it UDP or TCP? I can't remember. Firewall guys, you'll know. Port 500. Ring any bells? And it's getting denied. What? But I've got an any rule being denied. So we check. Oh, well, his IP address, which would be the green here, isn't in our source and destination rules. Ah, that must be it. So we add that, push the config, nothing, still doesn't come up. Go back and look at the traffic logs. It's still hitting the deny rule. What in the heck? What is it? And then we finally noticed the deny was from the outside zone to the outside zone. You can see that the outside zone is here in both source and destination, but it wasn't when we first started. So we add outside zone in the source, outside zone in destination, and push the config again and force the tunnel up, and the tunnel comes up. No problem. No more denies. Tunnel goes up, stays up. So the tunnel times out after a while. So I said, "Oh, hang on, don't close this case yet, Miss Palo Alto engineer." So we dropped the tunnel and made sure that everything was red here. I go back to the server, one of these servers from the NAT rule, one of these guys, and I just start a ping to one of these guys, this 192.168 or 192.169. And dropped one ping, and then it started pinging. And I come back and check the tunnel, it's up. So yeah, 2 days of troubleshooting because I didn't complete this one security rule step. So I added it to my notes. If I go over and see, where are my notes? Where are they? Firewall. So let me share. Let me stop sharing real quick. Ah, he's so big. And let me share something else. Do I want to share the whole screen? No, I just want to, no, ooh, no. see. I make sure that's okay. That looks okay. Um, so I went and updated my notes to, I always do this because I forget things every time I do it. If I don't have notes, 2 weeks later, I won't remember how to do it. So now I have them, create the interface, create IKE profile, create the gateway, create the crypto profile, tunnel, blah, 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 proxy IDs, set up your static routes, set up your NAT policies. Um, yeah, and you NAT experts out there for Palo Alto, this is what I've found. I have to say, I have to set up a source NAT if I'm originating it, and a destination NAT if he's originating it. Um, the other side, if you know of a way to do this with one NAT rule, that'd be great. Give me a hint. Put it in the comments below. Um, so I just set up one of each so that either side can originate the thing. And then I said, okay, if you're using a single security policy, be sure to add inside and outside zones to the source and destination address. And yeah, I forgot to I don't know why it says +6 there. Yeah, I totally forgot this whole outside thing. So do not forget the outside. Anyway, warning, I'm about to get big again. All right, there we go. Um, yeah, so updated my notes, so won't do that again. And finally, that is all I have for this week. Guys, if you liked what you saw, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, give me a like, drop a comment down below, and yeah, hopefully we get some other more interesting content coming up soon. I thought this might be of interest to some who, don't work with firewalls all that often. I don't work with them all that often. I don't like to work with them all that often. I don't like anything to do with security. Um, I like somebody who knows more about that stuff and just lives and breathes security. I like them to take care of the firewall, because I don't live and breathe security. I should, I don't. So, and honestly, people wanting to be network admins, that's something you should consider is, you know, get into computer security because that field is just going to be busting wide open. I mean, I know everybody's saying, "Oh, AI will do it, AI will do it." There's a lot of companies out there that don't trust AI to do it, including this one. So they want a human. So anyway, that being said, have a great week, and we'll see you guys all next time. God bless. Where do you stop this crazy thing? Right